Friends, we're having another shortage of coffee. Yes, you may have already been seeing it on your store shelves, but what's happening on your store shelves right now is last year's coffee issues. And unfortunately, it's not going to be relieved by the harvest this year because we're seeing that very dry weather over Brazil's major Arabica growing regions during the second half of August added to their drier than normal conditions the region has seen. We're going to get into that. For those of you who are coffee lovers and concerned about this, stick around. Those of you who don't like coffee or drink it very rarely, which is I'm in that camp. I drink it rarely. It's a nice treat. But this is important, folks. We're waiting for when people will wake up, and I promise you, when they go to the store shelves and they don't see any coffee there, they will wake up. At least in the United States they will, because coffee's a big deal. When they go to the store and there's no coffee, if you thought they were crazy over toilet paper, you ain't seen nothing yet, because when they go crazy over coffee, it's going to spread to everything because they're going to see that it's a food issue. And that's true because the impacts of this, Brazil's coffee regions are very intricately related to the Brazilian everything else growing region. They grow a tremendous amount of food that is exported out of the United States, out of Brazil, to the United States as well as the rest of the world. And that's in the same region. The drought that has hit that area is going to have major repercussions as we see going forward. Now, we're just getting word now of the coffee impacts, but it's not just Brazil. Also hitting coffee production in Colombia. Drought conditions there. Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica also showing signs of crop stress. Across the world, in Vietnam, the second largest coffee producer and top supplier of Robusta, stockpiles will be halved, cut in half, by the end of September versus a year ago. Those people out there saying, we're not going to have a coffee shortage, we're not going to have a shortage, there's no shortage. Half of the stockpiles of coffee in the second largest exporter of coffee are gone. If we have a bad year this year like we did last year, we're out. We're going to be done. No more coffee. You go to the store, there's no coffee. How much will it cost for coffee? There's no coffee. And before we run out, what will always happen, almost certainly, is that there will be rationing. Vietnam is struggling there too. Their crop in Vietnam is not looking good. So we have around the world, much of the coffee production is either being severely impacted or is under stress. Now we're seeing the same thing paralleling that. Much of the coffee growing region is fruit growing regions or rice growing regions, right? Primarily coffee should be grown on the mountainside, but then down in the valley is where you grow the rice. And a lot of these places like Vietnam and other places, they have the mountains, and then they have the valleys or the steppes that they grow the rice on. And rice in Vietnam is being impacted very severely. That kind of goes along with how Dragon Country has so much of their rice in the southeast of their country, and that area is being affected by record high temperatures. They're saying that the drought and heat is like once in a couple thousand years. It's that extreme. Now, I don't believe that because, every year they cry wolf about that kind of thing. Oh, this weather this year is like once in 500 years or once in 1,000 years. They say that every year, but definitely they're being hit by record high temperatures, and that's not good for rice. It's drying out the ground. We see that in the United States, in California, and in Texas, and in other places too, where the rice growers are. We're seeing that they're losing their crops. And when we go around the world to a lot of these places, we're seeing the same kinds of things happening. They're either getting way, way, way too much water. Water is actually damaging the crops in the Ohio and west of Ohio, in the Midwest, or Atlantic states, depending on how you carve things up, right? But too much water in some areas, but then we're having not enough water in other areas. And it's devastating crops across the world. But one of the most high-profile things that we're going to be seeing is the impact on coffee. So if you need to stock up on coffee, you might want to do that. If you need to stock up on anything else, including rice particularly, that's something I'm kind of focusing in on grabbing some more before it goes scarce, is some more rice. But I just grabbed a whole bunch more pinto beans in the last couple days, so I'm going to stock up on some more rice in the next day or two. But get ahead of that, because when people see their coffee disappear off the shelves, I believe that that's going to cause them to panic if they haven't already. All right, folks, stay safe out there. Keep stocking up. Keep getting ready. Everything looks like it's all pointing to crisis this fall. Could happen any day now, of course. The way things are, all it takes is something to blow up in Eastern Europe, something to blow up in off the coast of Dragon Country. So many different shoes could drop. Just the market dropping like crazy could really trigger a lot of stuff. So many things to happen that could happen. Can't even list them all. But if you like this video, you might want to check out this video right here, from here. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Steve Poplar, out.